Good everyone and welcome back to North London Narratives. Today, guys, we're going to be talking about the sacking of Ange. And honestly, I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel because this is a manager that I didn't want to go. Over the course of last season, I did want him to go, but after winning the Europa League and I sat down to think clearly about everything, I realized that this manager wasn't back. This is a manager that at the end of 2 seasons ago now, his first season, he came out and he spoke about how he wanted new attackers. He came out and he said that, and the only first team addition was Shalanke. We knew we needed a number six that Bissouma couldn't play in six. They got him Gray, a player from Championship, an 18-year-old player from Championship. We needed a winger willing to do it, willing to Eze. We saw what the two of them are capable of this season. Who did we get? Odebe from the Championship. And then we say we want a new attacker. Okay, who do you get? You get Timo Werner. In January, towards January, the players like Romero, players like Kulusevski are coming out to talk against the board, saying the board didn't do enough to help the team. Players, for the first time in my life in this club, players came out to talk against the board. And they came out, they said things. In January, what do you give him? You give him Matisse Tel, who we all thought was a good talent, by the way. But then looking at him and seeing how physically underprepared he was for the Premier League, what is the scouting team doing? Why are we hiring or bringing in people that are not ready to play in the Premier League? We saw actually great this season. Thank God for Bad. Thank God for Lucas. Because I don't know how our season would have gone if he didn't develop. If it was just actually great we brought in and the likes of Odobe and the likes of Matisse Tel. I don't know how that would have gone, honestly speaking. Jesus Christ, I can't imagine it being any worse than what I watched last. But that's fine. That's fine because it's easy to throw the manager under the bus. It's easy to do certain things to the manager and then the board take no accountability for it. And then, regardless of all these things, regardless of all these circumstances, regardless of the injuries, down so that we only brought him because Dragishin had an ACL injury. Regardless of all of this, what do? This manager wins you the Europa Cup. It says, okay, due to the mistakes of maybe him, maybe the board, combination of everybody, everybody has to be involved in this, the medical team as well. No problem. If we can't achieve anything in the league, but we could still get into Champions League, and we can still win the trophy. And he goes for that, and he wins the trophy. Something that Jose Mourinho couldn't do, because something that Pochettino couldn't do, Antonio Conte couldn't do, Nuno Espirito Santos couldn't do. What's his name? Ryan Mason couldn't do, because he had the final. Joseph Fano couldn't do it, and he did it. He did it. Ange Postecoglou did it, and that was a feeling that I have never experienced in my life as a sports fan. The last time Tottenham won this trophy was in 2008, and I was how old? Never experienced it in my life. So, regardless of all the circumstances and everything that he went through, he was still able to win us a trophy, and then you go and sack him. No problem. Let's not cry over spilled milk. It's done. It's done. Let's move on from it. Okay? But now, I think Daniel Levy and the board needs to realize that actions have consequences. They need to realize that their actions have consequences. And the person I feel bad for, genuinely speaking, I do feel bad for the next manager. Because regardless of who comes in, except it's a big name like Shabby, regardless of who comes in, as soon as you come in, as soon as you walk into that door as the new Tottenham Hotspur manager, and mind you, this was a job that nobody wanted 2 years ago. Nobody wanted, which is why we got Ange in the first place, because nobody wanted to touch Tottenham Hotspur with a 10-foot pole. Nobody wanted the job. Everybody kept on rejecting us. But now you're in Champions League. Now you're Europa League winners. Now you look more attractive. All of a sudden, you want to get rid of this guy who made you attractive, who made you what you are today, who made you have debates, and now come out with chest as a club. Who made you come out and say, oh, yeah, we've had a taste of this? Daniel Levy, by the way. He came out and said, we've had a taste of this and we can build on it. Who made you be able to say that? Who made you have that moment? Coming out in front of everybody and shaking people and having them wear medals on their neck. Ange did that, but you sacked him. No problem. No problem now. So now the new manager comes in and he's under fire because the fan base, majority of the fan base didn't want this. The players had come out and said they didn't want him to be sacked. This man has just won us a European Cup. So whoever comes in is going to be slaughtered by the media as well. And it's looking like Frank. And I'm not saying that Frank isn't a nice guy, Frank isn't a good manager. But he has to be able to get the fans on side, the players on side. And I think the media will support him. I think they will. But will he be able to get those on side? Because we saw what happened to Nuno. We saw what happened to Nuno. He was eaten alive. He was eaten alive. We saw Graham Potter. He was eaten alive. And I know Tottenham was isn't as big as these clubs, like Chelsea, Ten Hag. But I think that due to the situation that he's walking into, he's going to be watched very carefully. And everybody is going to be looking out for him and waiting for him to make a mistake because we didn't want this to happen. And I hope it's not that way. I hope we get behind him. But he's walking a fine line here, and he has put the manager in this situation. Because as much as people want to say, oh, this or that, if you are giving him first 10 games, then the other manager, bro, if the manager comes in when Ange isn't doing well, he's under less pressure. We saw with Amorim this season. Amorim could get away with murder this season because he came in when a manager wasn't doing well. You know you need to give him time. But saying a manager just won a trophy, you sacked him after winning the trophy, your first trophy in 17 years, your first European trophy in 41 years, and you sacked him. And now you're bringing in some other guy. What beats that? Except he wins a cup, at the end of the season, Tottenham fans are going to probably look at this as a failure of the season and wondered what could have gone on if Andrew stayed. If Andrew had stayed, sorry. I think it's a very tricky position, Warren. I honestly don't know how to feel. Can't feel excited about this club anymore because I don't know, there's not really much exciting that's happening. And the only closest thing to excitement or the only memorable moment I've had in recent years has been the Europa Cup win, and you just fired the manager that gave me that. So it is what it is. And let's just see where we go from there. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think the manager is going to be under fire? What are your thoughts on Ange sacking? What are your thoughts on would you want to be the next manager? What are your thoughts on everything I've said? And if you think I'm saying rubbish, for sure, let me know. If you think I'm saying something smart, let me know. And please leave a like, please subscribe if you're new here. And I'll see you guys next time. Dr. United. Have a lovely day, guys. Bye bye.